What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Persevere Performance Podcast. I am your host, Coach G. And this episode is going to be a little bit special. Obviously, you guys saw in the title. I want to talk about, as you guys know, I failed phase 3. And I really want to touch base on how it happened, what happened, and what I'm going to do moving forward. So I'm really excited about that. But before we get into the meat and potatoes of me explaining that, for anybody that is new or does not know what the Live Hard program is, I really wanted to give you guys a quick little breakdown of what it is, so you guys have an understanding of what I'm talking about. The Live Hard program is a year-long mental toughness program. It's a program. It is not a challenge. Most people like to call it a challenge. I'm sure you guys have heard of the 75 hard challenge. It's not a challenge, okay? And the reason I say that, and the reason why it's not a challenge, is because a challenge is something that you just complete, right? To get through. A program is something that is designed to make change, something that is meant to make you progress in something. So this program is, again, like I said, a mental toughness program. Most people look at it as a fitness program or a weight loss program. That's not what it is. It's all about here. It's meant to build mental toughness, discipline, grit, fortitude, and I really wanted to touch on that first because I feel like so many people look at it as like a challenge, and it's not a challenge. It's not what it is. It's a program, and if you do the program the correct way, it can and will change your life, as it has for me. So I really want to get into it. Obviously, the Live Hard program is a year-long program. There's 4 phases total in the program. The number 1 phase, right, is 75 hard, which is the one that most of you guys have heard of, right? 75 hard is 75 days of doing the task of 75 hard. And if you miss any of them, you have to start the program back over on day 1. So it doesn't matter whether you're on day 4 and you fail, or you're on day 71 and you fail. You have got to start back over at day 1 if you miss a single one of these habits. So the habits are, you have 2 45-minute workouts, okay? Not 43, not 44, 45-minute workouts. One of them has got to be outdoors. Now, when we say workout, right, most people say, oh man, I can't go in and lift weights for 75 days straight. A workout is intentional movement. So a yoga counts as a workout. It just has to be 45 minutes. An outdoor walk counts as a workout. It just has to be 45 minutes. Now, it depends on your level of it, right? Sometimes instead of just doing a walk, you'll go up to a ruck, or go up to a jog, go up to a whatever, right? The whole point is that you're doing 45 minutes of intentional movement, not broken up by anything, right? It has to be straight 45 minutes, 2 times a day for 75 days. Second rule is follow a diet. You can choose any diet you want to follow, whether you do keto, paleo, carnivore, if it fits your macros. It does not matter which one you choose. You just have got to stick to that diet for the 75 days and not go off of it at all. Now, when it comes to that diet, and especially, this is one thing that I did wrong the very first time I did it, 2019. That's why I don't really count that first time I did it as a completion, because I did if it fits your macros, and I didn't have an understanding that you cannot just fit something in there that is junk food or a cheat meal, right? It just says no cheat meal. It's one of the rules, meaning like a hamburger or pizza, whatever, into your macros and say you're following a diet. If you're following, if it fits your macros, it has got to be whole, nutritious food. So no, chips, no homemade burgers if you're making your homemade burgers, but you can't go to McDonald's and fit that into your macros. You guys know what I'm saying when I say no cheat meals, right? No ice cream, none of that garbage, man. It's got to be all whole foods. You have got to follow that for 75 days straight. And then another piece of following the nutrition is no alcohol. That's another one of the rules. You cannot have any alcohol for all 75 days. Um, Next rule is drinking a gallon of water every single day. A gallon is 128 ounces. Okay? So if you drink 127 one day, you failed. You have got to drink a minimum of 128 ounces of water, 3.7 liters, however you want to look at it. And there's no substitutions in the beverage aspect. So, no, your water in your coffee does not count towards your water. It has got to be water. Next rule is going to be read 10 pages of a nonfiction book. Focus on self-development, ideally, right? Actually, that's what you should be reading. Now, 10 pages of that, no less. Okay, 9 pages, you fail. And it cannot be an audiobook. It has to be a physical book. Okay. Take a progress photo every single day, and obviously now they have the app. The first year I did it, there was no app, so you really had to remember to take your photo. But now they have an app that kind of gives you reminders, and it stores all your photos and all your completions on there, so that makes it super convenient. And it cannot be skipped. It's repetitive. Maybe you don't want to look yourself in the mirror. Maybe you don't want to get the photos, but you have got to do it for this program. There's no ifs or buts about it. If you miss a single photo, you have got to start back over on day one. So those are pretty much the rules of 75 hard. But some important notes that I did write down for this is, again, if you miss a single task in one day, right, whether it's your photo, whether it's one page, whether it's 1 ounce of water, you have got to start back over at day one. Okay. 2, plan ahead. Reason I put that on there is because life is going to throw a lot of challenges at you, right? There's going to be a lot of unforeseen things that are going to happen, and I'm sure you still have a life. Some of you guys have kids, some of you guys have businesses, right? Those things are going to throw a lot of things at you, but you have got to ensure you're planning your task in your day. They have got to be a priority. Now, when it comes to stretching and recovery, one of the biggest things that I did is I made sure that my Sundays were always a set mobility day, with my second workout, my outdoor workout, just being a walk. That was my recovery, right? So it's an active recovery. I was still doing each one of those for 75 minutes. Again, it's movement, right? If you want to add more of those stretching days, that's fine. You just have to do for 45 minutes. It's one of the biggest things that people ask, well, what about rest days? They have to be active rest days. You still have to do 2 workouts every single day, okay? And then last thing that I really put on here for the notes, it's a mental toughness program, okay? It is designed to push you mentally more than physically. So it is going to be the hardest on the days you don't feel like it, the hardest on the days where you're sick, the hardest when the conditions outside are not ideal, right? But every single time you get yourself to do those tasks, regardless of how you feel, regardless of what's going on anywhere around you, that is what is developing that mental toughness, that mental fortitude, right? Because you're literally you're working your discipline muscle. So, that's really what I have for 75 hard. And I want to go into the phases really quick so you guys have a better understanding of what the whole Live Hard program is. Again, 75 hard is just a boot camp. It's just the start of the program. In order for you to move into the next phases, you cannot move into the next phase until you've completed the one previous. Okay, so 75 hard is the first one. And then after that, you have phase 1. Phase 1 is only 30 days. Okay. You can do it immediately after 75 hard, which I highly recommend. I never take longer than... Actually, I always just start 75 hard. I go straight into phase 1 because you've already built momentum. You don't want to let go of that momentum. Easy to carry into it. The difference between 75 hard and phase 1 is it does add a couple of extra tasks on there. Okay, so you have your regular 75 hard tasks, which I just went over. Okay, and on top of that, you have to do a 5-minute cold shower every single day. 5 minutes, okay? Not 4.5, not 3, not 30 seconds. 5-minute cold shower. They suck, but they do get better. You get a little bit more adapted to it, which makes it a little bit more doable. Now at this point, they're just a habit. I've carried it on from phase one, and it's just part of my morning routine. I don't even think about it anymore. 3 critical power list task extra on top of like what you've already done, right? So meaning you have to choose 3 things that you have to do that are going to move you forward in an area of life, right? So say for example, one of them would be like journaling every day, right? You have to do that every day. You can change them on a day-to-day basis. Some of my critical tasks sometimes were aligned with business, obviously. So critical tasks that I had to do, whether it's phone calls, emails, follow-ups, retention, whatever it was, right? But you have to do three critical tasks that are going to move you forward every single day in phase one. 10 minutes of visualization. And this is really just focusing on your goals, where you want to go, the things you want to achieve, the things you want to have. And that has been crucial, man. Even though I don't do 10 minutes every day now, but I carried that over, man, and that's been a game changer for everything we're doing and just what we're doing in the gym, period. That's phase one with the added tasks. Then after that, you got phase two. The rule is, after phase one, you have got to take 30 days off between phase one to phase two. And phase two is just really your 75 hard task over again. That's it, right? It's crazy because once you've done phase one, dude, you're going back into phase two. It's cake. The tricky part, though, is maintaining the discipline through that break. Because, again, it's all momentum. We work off of momentum as humans, right? So if you go into phase two and you have not been doing those tasks, it's going to be a little bit harder to get that momentum back, okay? And then last but not least, the one that I'm here to talk about because I just failed it. So phase 3 is 30 days, and it has got to be done 30 days before the date you started 75 hard in a calendar year. So for example, if I started 75 hard, I'm just going to use an example, say August 1st, then I would have to start phase 3 July 1st to finish August 1st. If that makes sense. I don't know if that makes sense in the calendar. But you guys get the gist, right? It has got to be, phase 3 is the last 30 days of the calendar year of when you started 75 hard. Okay, so say you started in January 1st, you would start it December 1st to finish January 1st. Now, phase 3, now each one of those phases, whatever phase, if you fail any of those phases, you start back over at that phase, except for phase 3. Phase 3, if you fail, you have got to start the entirety of the program back at 75 hard. And when I tell you guys, you have got to be absolutely dialed in for that phase. You have to, man. There is no time to waste. You cannot be distracted. You cannot stray off of any of your tasks. To break down phase 3, it's the same thing as 75 hard, your regular tasks. Then you still have the 3 critical tasks on top of your list. On top of that, you still have your 5-minute cold shower, a random act of kindness, and talking to a stranger. Random act of kindness could be doing something kind for somebody else or something. Sometimes, you put other people's grocery carts back, or going and walking to the park and picking up trash. Sometimes it's buying the Starbucks, the person behind you at Starbucks their drink, or buying somebody's groceries for them, whatever. You don't have to spend money, everyone, but you just have to do something kind for somebody else. And then talking to a stranger. This has got to be a conversation. You can't just say nice shoes and that counts. No, it has got to be, you got to get their name, you got to figure out, maybe what they do. My rule of thumb was it had to be a minimum of a 3-minute conversation, like an actual conversation with the person. And that's tough. It definitely pushes you out of your comfort zone, especially when you're already tired about your day, whatever. So that's the entirety of the Live Hard program. Key points that I have for the entire thing is Consistency is crucial. You have got to be consistent with all this stuff. And one thing that I tell people is you have to build these into routines, build them into habits so that it just becomes part of your day. And then the rest of your day, you have to build the rest of your day around the program, not the other way around. And that's something that people mess up. Okay. No modifications. You cannot modify any of these rules. Okay. These rules are the rules for a reason. You are not qualified to change any of the rules. The program is made how it's made for a reason. Everything has a purpose. Okay. Nutrition. When it comes to nutrition, you have to do something that is supporting your current goals, what you're trying to achieve. So, for example, if you're trying to gain weight, right, and you have to hit a certain amount of macros, even though you're eating a lot of food, you have got to hit those macros, right? You can't use the excuse of like, oh well, at least I didn't eat over. No, if your goal is to gain weight, right, and you have a certain amount of macros, you have got to hit that. If your goal is calorie deficit, you have got to hit that. One of the biggest things, meal prepping, is huge, and then something that helped me massively when it came to the food is just pre-logging my days, already setting my plan of attack for the day, so that I just followed my plan. Okay, and again, this program, it's not for everybody. This is something that I tell people all the time. I don't believe this program is for everyone, but I do believe that anyone that does this program will benefit from it if they do it correctly and to the T how it's made. I promise you. I've been doing this program for the past 5 years, okay, and technically really 4 because I don't count that first year because I did If It Fits Your Macros until I heard the podcast and I knew that didn't count. So I don't really count that time, but I can promise you guys, man, this program has changed my life in so many different aspects, man. It has made me more disciplined. It has made me more structured with my time. It has made me more mentally strong, not only in the sense of like these tasks, but just it carries into everything, right? I own a business, and sometimes if you're a business owner, you understand it's tough, right? So having that mental toughness, it is crucial for you to just keep going, keep trucking along, and keep pushing through. Self-confidence, one of the biggest things that you will gain from this program, and reason being is because all of these, and how I look at them, is they're all promises, man. Every single one of these tasks, every time you check them off, it's a promise you made to yourself, and every promise you keep to yourself is just building that self-confidence bank. It's literally you're making deposits into your self-confidence bank because you can start believing that you can trust yourself. And there's nothing more powerful than that, because that alone right there has made me just believe I can achieve anything, man. When it's made me truly believe that if I set my mind to something and I go all in on it, man, I can achieve absolutely anything that I want to achieve. It's made me more resilient. It's made me more focused again, and driven towards my vision, towards my mission, towards what I want to do. And with that, it has helped me, because with this program you have to be so dialed with your time. It has helped me eliminate so many things that were distracting me away from my goals, away from who I wanted to become, away from the person that I need to be to achieve the things that I want to achieve. And seriously, it's made me really understand what I'm capable of, because again, right, you become more confident. You start believing in yourself a lot more, and you start thinking like anything that's thrown my way, like I can tackle. There's no way I can't do that, right? It has made me also realize that I didn't need to wait for anybody to allow me to go after my goals. And with that, I had to realize that nobody was going to come do it for me, right? So that's been a massive piece of me actually going and tackling all these hard things, like building a business, like launching a business, starting it from scratch, and many other things that I'm going to touch on here in a second. But the biggest thing this program really helped me understand is that there is absolutely nothing more important I could be working on than myself. And with that, the relationship that I have with me, right? Again, going back to the promises that you keep to yourself, right? There's nothing more powerful than you genuinely believing in yourself, than you carrying yourself with a sense of confidence, because you know that regardless of what life throws your way, you are controlling what you can control. It's massive, man. And as I said, I genuinely believe anybody that does this program correctly can make massive leaps and changes in their lives. This is just a few of the things that I've learned in just the 5 years I've been doing this program. So I'm really pumped to see where I'll be in another 5 of it. And yes, this is a program that I will continue to do for the rest of my life. Just because I know what it's doing for me. I know how it's helped me. I know how much it's helped me so far, and I know how much it will continue to help me, how much it'll continue to help me grow. I'm being honest with you guys, man. Before I started this program, I would have never imagined I'd be as disciplined as I am now. And I still have a long way to go. I'm not saying that I got it all figured out or anything, man, but if I met myself 5 years ago, right now, I would not want to hang out with me. I'm a completely different person, in many different ways. And again, with this program, right, some of the things that I've gone after because of this program are little things like, I did my very first physique competition. I always said I wanted to do it. I always kind of just kept putting it back, kept putting it off. And this program made me zone in, man, and just go after it and just do it and just perform, right? Give it the best I could. It helped me open this gym. I tell people all the time, if it wasn't for this program, we would not have this gym, right? Because it gave me the confidence. It gave me the roadmap on how to tackle one day at a time. That's another big thing too, is it teaches you how to tackle one day at a time, just the day ahead of you. Next day doesn't matter. The past does not matter. What matters is today. What are you going to do today to move forward in whatever it is that you're trying to move forward in? I started running. I started from 5Ks to 10Ks, a half marathon, and currently prepping for my first official marathon, which are things that I would have never thought I'd push myself to do. 5 years ago again, right? Completely different person. And I say official full marathon because this last year, for 2023, I ran a marathon, a solo marathon, no race. I literally just made a decision the week before my birthday that I was going to go run a marathon by myself. And it was an incredible learning experience. Man, that taught me more than many things have taught me in my life. But I went after that because this program has given me the confidence that I can do it. One step, one foot in front of the other, right? It's all that matters. So yeah, man, now getting into the meat and potatoes of, obviously me failing. You guys obviously just heard I've been doing this program for 5 years. Only the past 3 years have I actually tried to go all the way through the program. First 2 years I only did 75 hard. Got through a couple of the phases. But then 3 years ago I really decided to let's go all the way. I've failed phase 3 years in a row. And when I tell you guys, you have got to be completely dialed in for that phase, man, I mean it, dude. You cannot be distracted. There can't be anything in your life that is taking you away from that goal, from that target. First year, I failed it because I waited way too late to talk to a stranger. And if I'm being honest, I will say this in front of this camera, I was a pussy, and I pussed out. I went home and I decided to fail myself because it was so late. I had clients early in the morning the next day, and I still had not talked to a stranger, so I pussed out and I failed myself. Second year I failed it. I fell asleep reading. Extremely frustrating, but it taught me a lesson to not read at night. I just don't do that. I do it in the middle of the day. And this last year, obviously this past time, which just happened Tuesday, so 4 days ago today, from when I'm recording, I failed because I pre-logged my food. And I went on a run on Monday, and I usually don't do, for my easy runs, I don't drink a gel. I don't eat a gel. But I always keep a gel in my pouch just in case I need it. Well, that day, I felt I needed it, and my day was already pre-logged. But in my mind, I said, when I get back to the gym, I'm going to pre-track this gel and adjust the rest of my food. Well, I fucking forgot. And I just went about my day. You know, I ate all my food. And the next day, when I went to go grab a gel for that run, my stomach dropped. And I that's when I fucking realized that I forgot to track that gel. And sure enough, I went back to my log. I hadn't logged it. When I logged it, it put me over my carbs by like 23 grams, and over my calories by like 160, which obviously, if you follow macros, you understand that's over, means I did not hit my nutrition. And that put me over my macros. So I failed because I did not hit my nutrition. I did not follow my diet. So well, I was extremely frustrated at myself, right? Because I was on a mission, man. I really wanted to finish the program this year. And even though that morning I was literally trying to justify every reason why I should just keep going, right? It's just a jail. You did it for fuel. You did it for this. You did it for that, right? I was literally trying to justify it in my head why it was okay that I went over my nutrition. But at the end of the day, man, that's not what this program's about. The program's not about just completing the phases just to check them off. The program is intended to create a completely different version of yourself, and it's meant to be done with integrity. And at the end of it, man, if I would have gone through and if I would have finished, right, I would have known. It would have ate at me. I would have, in the back of my mind, you know, if you've done this program and if you ever messed up in anything, you carry it with you, man. You cannot let it go. So while I was pissed, while I was angry at myself, while I was frustrated, I just had to remember, man, what this program's all about, what it's done for me this far. It has created a completely different version of myself, and it will continue to do so because I plan on doing this program for the rest of my life every single year. So, yeah, man, a fail's a fail, right? It doesn't matter whether it was an ounce of water, whether it was forgetting your picture, whether it was missing one page of reading. It doesn't matter. A fail's a fail. Same with your nutrition. So now what's to go forward? What am I going to do moving forward? This is one of the biggest things that I'll always want to say too. Like, just because you're not on the phase, just because you're not on the program, it does not mean that those disciplines and those standards that you have built and developed through the program should drop. That's the biggest goal, is that when you're not on the program, these standards should stick. Right, you should still be doing your 2 workouts. You should still be following your nutrition. You should still be drinking a gallon of water. You should still be reading 10 pages. So while I'm continuing with all of the habits, I made a commitment to myself to finish phase 3 for myself, not necessarily to check off the program, but for myself. Right, I've gotten better with talking to a stranger. I'm getting more comfortable with it. So I'm enjoying that now. I'm already doing my 5-minute cold shower every morning with my morning routine anyways. Well, it was 3 minutes before, but now it's 5, and I'm just gonna keep it at 5 because why not, right? So moving forward, my next start date of the Live Hard program, we do have a Sedona trip coming up with the First Form fam, which I'm super excited about. When we come back, we're launching a men's group September 7th. So my next start date of 75 Hard will be September 9th. So for any of you guys that want to join me and do it together, cheer each other on, man, September 9th is the day. So you have plenty of time, if you're watching this video earlier than that, to prep yourself and just get ready to get rocking, man. As I said, man, if you guys heard that, like, this program has genuinely changed my life, and it will continue to do so. I still have a very long way to go. I still have a lot to grow, a lot to experience. But I know for a fact that as long as I stay focused, which is one thing that this program does for me, it keeps me focused. There's no way I can't achieve everything I'm after. So anyways, yeah, thank you guys for watching. Sorry for all the pauses. My GoPro kept overheating. So yeah, thank you guys for staying tuned. And if you guys have any questions about the program, man, comment them down below. And if you want to start with me September 9th, give me a little flex emoji down in the comments, and let's get rocking. So anyways, I hope you guys have an incredible rest of your day. And remember, stay focused on becoming 1% better every single day.